This morning, I heard the crowd in Washington babbling about peace. The mainstream media is selling you a fairy tale. They say Zelensky just had a phone call with Donald Trump. They boast about upcoming talks in Geneva between senior officials. Ridiculous. Let's be frank, the man sitting in Kyiv has no legitimacy. He is nothing but a puppet, a fraud throwing young men into the meat grinder. He brags that Trump's representatives, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, were also on the call. He thanked them for their efforts to end the war. Nonsense. How do you negotiate when your army has been annihilated? You do not negotiate. This war, it's finished. I repeat, it's over. Will the neocons let peace happen? No. The Uniparty in Washington needs this war. Why are we there? For money, to enrich the donors. The American economy is on the edge of the abyss. We are repeating the mistakes of the Third Reich on Russian soil. Geography dictates everything. Rustam Umarov's meeting in Geneva is just theater. They claim it paves the way for leadership-level negotiations, that Trump supports this sequence of steps. Delusional. Look at the map. Do not listen to the media. Look at logistics. Logistics is king. What is the West doing? This morning, I heard the Washington hacks praising Ukrainian defense companies for signing European agreements worth nearly $950 million, specifically with Denmark, Finland, and Latvia. For what? To produce drones. What absolute stupidity. Do you think a few thousand drones can stop Russian industrial might? No. Russia produces tens of thousands of artillery shells every single day. Their industry runs 24/7. They have S-400s, Iskanders, and F-3000 bombs leveling everything. And us, we are depleted, completely depleted. Europe is being deindustrialized. Germany is dying from energy loss. NATO is disintegrating. It is a dead man walking. This $950 million deal is just a desperate attempt. An attempt to prepare for scaling up on the European market. Zelensky claims this builds a self-reliant defense base. Deception. It is just a way to bolster partnerships to secure financial support in exchange for battlefield expertise. Putin is cautious. He is patient. Much like General Grant, Putin uses a strategy of attrition to bleed the enemy dry. The parasites in the Beltway do not understand the mathematics of war. Their proxy force is being crushed along the Dnieper River and in the Donbass cauldron. Abrams tanks are just iron coffins. And now, look at what is happening behind the curtain. Panic is tearing the alliance apart. Hungary just had to deploy troops to protect its own energy infrastructure. From whom? Russia? No. From Kiev. Prime Minister Viktor Orban stated he sees Ukraine preparing actions to disrupt Hungary's energy system. Why? Because the Druzhba pipeline supplying oil to Hungary and Slovakia was halted in late January. Not a single drop of oil has been arriving. Orban had to convene a defense council. Police must step up patrols around power plants and control centers to protect themselves from a country that NATO is funding. Where does this serve American national interests? Nowhere at all. It is a catastrophe. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, the Air Force's logistics commander and the SBU director in Zhytomyr were just detained for embezzlement. They embezzled budget money allocated for building aircraft shelters. Over $32 million were allocated for prefabricated arch structures. The result? Unsafe designs, inflated costs, yet they still transferred advance payments to each other. About $320,000 in cash was seized red-handed. The Ukrainian Air Force only issues empty words of condemnation. We are throwing money into a furnace. Just like the quagmire in Vietnam, we have learned nothing. The truth is, this entire structure is collapsing. This regime is eating itself and bringing chaos to Europe. Spanish and German police just arrested a suspect in the town of Heinsberg. He is connected to the murder of Andriy Portnov, a former top Ukrainian official, shot dead outside a school in Madrid. Portnov served in Yanukovych's administration and was a deputy head of his administration. He was investigated by the SBU for treason, but the case was closed. He fled Ukraine when the invasion broke out despite a military travel ban. The assassination involved 2 or 3 people. Spanish and German police had to cooperate, issuing a European arrest warrant to search the suspect's residence. Europe has become a playground for factional purges. Should Americans pour money into this mess? No, never. What is our purpose? No one can answer. What is the method? Supplying weapons to a ghost army. What is the end state? The collapse of the West. That is absolute stupidity. The Russian military is not weakening. The mathematics of war are clear. They have mass and experience. The arrogance of the globalist elites has blinded them. The only way out is to end the deception, close our borders, negotiate based on physical reality. It is finished. It is over. Look straight at the brutal truth of logistical materialism. Weapons do not grow on trees. The globalists think they can print artillery shells. Asinine. America used to be the workshop of the world. Under Eisenhower, we had a mighty industrial base and a president who knew how to restrain the military. Now what? It takes us 3 years to build a 155mm shell factory. Meanwhile, the Russians produce artillery shells 24/7 at a fraction of our cost. They have overwhelming firepower. They dominate the skies with impenetrable integrated air defense systems. Our Patriot systems are just expensive burning scrap metal. We are bleeding to death because of the arrogance of the elites. The donors on Wall Street do not care about American lives. They only care about profit. Our national interest lies at the southern border, not in Eastern Europe. Continuing to pour money into a corrupt regime where officials steal millions of dollars is a crime. No miracle can save them. Geography is destiny. Russia will never back down in its own backyard. It is a matter of existential survival for them. We must wake up, cut off the aid, focus on America. Otherwise, economic and military collapse will be the price we pay. Everything is finished, I repeat, completely over. Would you like me to translate this back or analyze any specific historical military comparison mentioned here?